Good afternoon, friends. Thank you for joining me on Let's Chat. I really appreciate you being here, and I've got a wonderful guest for you. I have a little verse. One smile can start a friendship. One word can stop a fight. One look can save a relationship. One person can change your life. Now, I would like to introduce you to my wonderful friend and guest, Chris Ward. She's amazing, she's talented, and I know we're going to love what she has to talk to us about. Chris, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Judy. It's a pleasure.
Well, where will we start? What would you like to start with?
Well, I'll start at the beginning, sort of.
That sounds perfect.
I'm from Southeast Virginia. It's a city of Suffolk. If you've heard of Planters Peanuts, that's where Planters Peanuts was originated, and that's why my dad's family moved to Suffolk from Richmond, because Grandpa had gotten a job at the Planters peanut facility. So I'm a peanut
Did you eat a
girl.
lot of peanuts?
Oh yeah, and you could walk around when we moved into the city where the peanut plant was. If they were roasting peanuts, you could smell them all over the city.
That would be amazing.
Fond memories, yes, and they were delicious too. So Dad and Mom met in high school. Dad went into the Marines and then came back to finish high school. And that's when he claimed Mom as his own. And they were married, and I came along four years later. And I grew up, Suffolk is my hometown. I lived there my entire life, except for 4 years of college at East Carolina University in Greenville, North Carolina, which is where I studied music. And until I moved to Otterbein to be near my daughter and her family.
Oh, I see. Okay, and she lives around here then?
She lives in Centerville.
Centerville.
That's right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it was, my mother told me that from the time I could stand up, if I saw a piano, I had to go and touch it. So they would let me do that. I never banged on it. If I had, she would have stopped me, but I just had to go and touch it. So at 9 years old, she and Dad decided maybe it was time to start some piano lessons, and one of Dad's customers at the station he worked at had an old upright piano that didn't work super well, but it worked, and he gave it to Dad, and that's how I got started. And when I was 14, my piano teacher, who was also the organist at our church, said to me, "You know, you should learn to play the organ and play for Youth Sunday this coming spring." And my eyes got big. I said, "You're kidding, right?" She said, "No, you have 6 months to get ready for one worship service. I think you can do it." Well, once I started playing the organ, I was hooked. It was great.
Well, I've heard you play in church, and
well,
it was
you're
beautiful.
very kind, thank you. I went to East Carolina for college, and I was a piano major and organ and church music minor. So I was one of the few of my friends who actually ended up doing what I went to school for. So, because so many times you go and get a degree in whatever, and that doesn't turn out to be your passion or whatever, and you change. But for me, it's been a passion.
It was your passion.
And I've done private piano lessons for more than 50 years, and then church work for more than 50 years.
Well, I enjoy your music on our Sunday morning.
Well, you're very sweet.
Yes,
Thank
and I'm
you.
sure everybody does.
Well, they're very kind and say so, and we're kind of maybe in an unusual place. I see people in the hallway that I really don't know them. I may have seen their face, but they'll say to me they watch on OLN, where Kevin keeps them tuned in, which is wonderful, and they say they enjoy it as well. So that's a real blessing to me.
Well, that is, makes your whole circle come around.
Well, it does.
Does your daughter play?
She is a clarinet major. She ended up at CCM at Cincinnati Conservatory, where she met her husband, who was also a clarinet major, through a mutual professor who played Cupid, and it worked.
Oh, okay. And you liked him well too.
Oh yes, he's wonderful. Just you couldn't ask for more in a son-in-law. He's a wonderful husband and dad, and a son-in-law. He treats me like gold, so
Good.
I'm very. His parents live in Wilmington,
Oh.
so it's really nice. When they married, they decided this area is where they wanted to live, and I was, of course, still working in the church back home, and she said they knew where I was thinking about retirement, maybe in about 5 years, and when Aaron, my first grandchild, was born, they said, "Mom, when you retire, why don't you consider moving up here near us so that you can be near your grandchildren?" That was an offer I couldn't refuse. So that planted the seed. And so in the meantime, my granddaughter Jane showed up. Aaron and Jane have the same birthday, 2 years apart.
Okay, and that's pretty
I told her she
incredible.
couldn't have planned that to work any better. So in June of 2022, I retired and moved to Otterbein in July 2023. No, the next month, July 2022. The interesting part of it is the summer before, in 2021, when we're kind of working toward where am I going to live, you know.
Right.
And we knew that I didn't need to live with Leanne and her family. She said, "Mom, you need to be in a place where you can be independent, because if not, you will get absorbed in our lives and you won't have one of your own." Well, she was probably right. So, but we're close enough. It's within 30 minutes.
Oh, yes.
It's so easy to get to them and them to me. So Joe, my son-in-law's father, his name is Jeff. He may still be on the board of Otterbein.
Wow.
And he mentioned to my daughter, he said, "Where's your mom planning on living when she moves up next summer?" And Leanne says, "Well, no, we're working on that." And he said, "Well, have you considered Otterbein?" She said, "What's that?"
Oh.
She had no idea. Of course, she's not from Ohio, so it's kind of still a little new to her in some areas. And so he described it and said, "Go and take a tour. If you don't like it, nothing ventured, nothing gained."
Right.
So in that September, I came for a visit, and we scheduled an appointment for a tour. At that point, COVID mode was still a little bit in. They were doing the tours, but we couldn't tour certain parts of maybe the healthcare areas. So John Weber, who is
Yes.
wonderful in the marketing area, just was very interested, answered all my questions, and he asked me a bunch of questions. So he decided, I'm going to show you this type of home and this type of home and see what you think. He said, "I don't think some of these are up your alley at the moment because you're way too independent to need that sort of thing." So he took me on a tour, and everywhere we went, people said to me, whether they were in a wheelchair or ambulatory, so many said, "John, are you taking these nice people on a tour?" "Yes, I am. And you should move here. You'll love it."
Great.
And finally, after about the fourth person, I said, "John, did you plant these people?" And he laughed and said, "I get asked that question all the time." "No, I did not plant them. They are genuinely telling you how they feel." And
It's a good recommendation when it comes from the residents
so
themselves.
that was a very good feeling.
Yes.
So you may remember Ruth Kammerer. I don't know. She and Rudy have since moved closer to family, but she walked down the hall and did it again. "Are you on the tour?" Whatever. And then to John, or to me, she said, "Do you sing?" And John started laughing. He knew my background. He said, "She probably does." And Ruth said, "Well, I'm on my way to women's chorus. You should move here. You'll love it, and join the women's chorus." So I'm like, this is amazing. Because I'll admit, when I first thought of a senior living community, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that. Because I mean, in music, we worked, we take programs to lots of senior living communities. They were all very nice, but I had never had any desire to live in one. But when I walked in the marketing department here at Otterbein, I immediately felt comfortable. And I know now it's the spirit of Otterbein. It's really, truly here. It's not a hearsay thing or just an old saying. It's true. It's really true. So we finished the tour. We got in the car, and I said to my daughter, I said, well, what did you think? She said, well, before we came, I was convinced I wasn't going to like it. I said, before we came? She said, yes. I said, well, how about now? She said, Mom, I really like it. I said, well, I'm glad you do, because I think this is a place for me. So that's how I got my start at Otterbein. But even better on the story was a couple of years before with my friend and coworker, Barbara, who was in the same church that I was. We were both kind of planning retirement in a year or two or three. And she said, well, what kind of home are you looking for when you move to Otterbein? Or moved to Ohio, not Otterbein. We had never heard of it. I said, well, I don't know. She said, well, think big. What would you do? I said, well, you know, nice rural area with gentle rolling hills and a little house just big enough for me and the backyard big enough and safe enough for my grandchildren to play in. And the icing on the cake would be a room with windows where I could see the sunset. I got it all.
Amazing.
And I never
That's
saw...
a testimonial.
Really, I never saw the house until the day I moved here.
Really?
Yeah. John gave me the address, and I could look it up on the map to see it was on the corner, which I loved. But when I walked in it, I just went, oh my gosh. Leanne said, what? I told her the story of Barbara and my conversation. She said, wow, Mom, I think it was meant for you to be here.
And we are blessed to have you.
Well, and I knew I was leaving the job that I had had for more than 50 years. I said, Lord, what am I going to do when I get there? I'm not a couch potato. So anyway, when I thought, well, maybe a church nearby or two, I could play substitute work for them. But I didn't have a car, so I didn't know how I was going to get there. But when I moved in, I said, well, I'm just going to trust God to lead the way. About a month after I moved here, Pastor Tom was on the phone. Can we talk? We're losing our organist in a week. And I went, what? He said, yes, she's got to make a big change. Can we talk? And that's how I got to be the organist here at Otterbein. So,
well, we're very happy to have you.
Well,
the music is beautiful.
It's as much a blessing to me, I will tell you that. And that all evolved, and when Janet Ball retired as the accompanist for the choir, I took that as well. And Jenny Longmire, bless her heart, decided to retire as the bell choir director. So that's happening too. And the music coordinator, which just has a couple of different roles, maybe assisting our choir directors and trying to help keep the calendar straight and order music for them. So all of these things together has given me plenty to do.
Yes, yes.
And then I've done 3 of John Kinzinger's basket classers now. I love doing that.
Too.
He is wonderful. He is wonderful. And several of Jana's craft things that I could work into the schedule, and physical therapy for my tense neck and shoulders that have been that way for years. They are also amazing. And I've had some surprise health challenges since I've been here. The cardiologists at Women's Heart Center say I'm 1 in a million of the stuff that happened to me. And if it weren't for that rescue squad across the street, I might not be here.
Oh, wow.
And so I had the privilege of giving them an award for what they did for me.
Amazing.
I know.
And who was this again?
This was, let's see, well, I've had 3 episodes of cardiac issues, 2 of which were cardiac arrests.
Oh my gosh.
And the one in, I guess, let's see, January 23, July 23, October 23. And finally, let's see, I think the July one was the first one, and that's the one that the rescue squad got the award for, their service.
So how did you award them?
Well, they worked, I don't know how that actually has started, but it was actually held here at Otterbein, the award ceremony, and there were 5 gentlemen who had been in on that call. Of course, I didn't know them until they walked in the door that day, and I got to give them their certificates for that and be able to thank them personally for what they did for me. I will never forget that.
I'm sure that they don't get that very often, so it meant a lot to them.
That's true. They deserve a whole lot more. And my own dad and my husband too was in the rescue squad.
Oh, were
so
they?
that was that made it even more special that
Yes.
that was part of my life growing up, and that I could say thank you to them for what they did for me.
That's wonderful.
It is. It's all been just an amazing blessing, really. So they put me in the hospital at Christ and did a bunch of tests and figured out what they thought was causing all this, and thank God the medicines and the care they've been giving me has worked. It's been over a year now since any more incidents. So,
very good.
We're just very thankful.
Good.
Yeah. So that's a lot. I have met some just wonderful people here. A lot of them are very musical, and a lot of them not. You know, and when I first moved here, of course, I think I mentioned I didn't have a vehicle.
Right.
In fact, I didn't have one from July till the next March. And because of that, I needed to ride the bus to Kroger or Meijer or wherever that it might be going to do shopping. And I got to meet some people that I probably would never have crossed paths with, because we just didn't go the same places and do the same things. But since we actually rode the bus to Kroger every week, I've gotten to know just a lot of them.
Did you meet Barb Kay?
Yes.
She lives on my court.
I know. She's a precious person.
She is wonderful.
Oh, yes, yes. She's had some challenges herself,
yes, she's had
too.
some, and she fights it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
She's doing good.
But she's great. Yes, just, I think as many as 12 people could ride the little bus when we're the little bus, plus Mike, the bus driver.
Oh, he's terrific.
His bark is way worse than his
absolutely.
bite. Yeah, he has a big bark.
Yeah, I tease him all the time. We know what's under that bark.
Yeah, yes, he's amazing too.
Yes, he is.
And he's always so helpful and kind to people, in spite of the bark.
I haven't been on those buses, but I've taken other tours with
Right.
him driving.
Yeah.
And he makes your seatbelt on and your arm down.
Oh, yes.
He's very strict, which is good.
Well, he is, because if he didn't do that, some of us may take advantage of his kindness and not buckle that seatbelt or put the armrest down or whatever.
Do
But
either of your grandchildren show any musical talent?
yes, actually they do. My son-in-law's mother is also very musical. So if they don't have any music in them, we don't know why. But they actually started taking piano lessons from me this past summer. And now they've got a piano in their house from the other grandmother that we've been going through all our renovations. Well, my daughter and son-in-law renovated the entire main floor of their home this past summer too. And wow, what a project. And it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. Now it's all done, and now that it is, Joe's mom was ready to give them the piano so that the kids will have a piano at their house now to practice. But they're very musical. One of the music stores in Centerville, and I don't remember the name of it, has had some Saturday and Sunday afternoon times where they brought in either their teachers or some area musicians to demonstrate several different kinds of instruments and let the kids actually try them.
Oh.
Yeah, we took Aaron and Jane 2 different times because they loved it so much. And Jane thinks she wants to play percussion, drums, like, oh wow.
I always wanted to play drums. I never got to, but I wanted to.
And Aaron was interested in the viola, interestingly enough. So we'll see where that goes.
Yes. How old are they now?
8 and 6. Aaron is 8 and Jane is 6. Second grade in kindergarten. So, and they're very active in scouts, and they do swimming and basketball and tennis, and Jane has started tap dance this this January, which she loves. So they're getting a lot of experiences, and we'll choose as time goes by.
Exactly. Eventually they pick out a couple.
Yes, yeah, as long as they can keep up their schoolwork, which they do very well at. So, yeah, it's a great time. Yeah, they have enough energy for all of us. So.
I know.
Yeah.
I wonder how they do it. I have 2 grandsons, and they're very busy. So what do you like to do at the Art Center, at the Creative Arts?
Well, the baskets is one of my favorites.
Okay.
And I've done, let's see, I guess at Christmas we made, I don't know what sort of title for the angels, out of fabric. And little... yeah, things. I did the diamond art with Bob Bounds and all that.
That's
that
great.
was lots of fun.
I did that a little bit.
Did you
and
do
I liked
some?
it a lot.
Yeah, I have to have a magnifying thing. Those little beads, I cannot see them if I don't. But yeah, I made several things to give as gifts, and of course I was just amazed at when I didn't put anything in the art show for the diamond art, but I went to the show. What beautiful stuff.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so many thousand of those diamond beads in some of those big ones.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Of course, Bob and Margie Bounds are addicted to it, so they do it all the time. So, but
Well, I think it's good to have a passion.
well, it is. And of course, Bob's wonderful. He's the drummer for the church choir and the chair of the leadership team in the church. He's a busy person, but he does a great job, and he's very passionate about that too. Yeah, very.
He was on the show once.
Oh, I know. I saw
we
that.
loved him, didn't we, Kevin?
He was
He was just so.
I always
interesting.
enjoy. In fact, even this morning, Bob and Kevin carrying on the way they do in the morning.
I didn't get to watch that today.
Yeah, they're always very good, and you as well.
Well, thank you. I enjoy it with Kevin.
I watch them as many mornings as I possibly
My daughter
can.
kids me. He's my Ed McMahon.
Oh,
Way back when he said,
here's Judy.
I should start doing that intro each week.
That's true.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yes, yes.
You may have started a new tradition.
We've got an idea for the future of the show.
There you go.
We haven't done too much on it, have I?
Not yet.
I have to sit down and get it grouped. It's
together.
going to be a call-in show.
Oh, that would be
So
neat.
you're going to be my first customer.
Oh no.
Judy always has so many ideas. She's the ideas lady around here.
She does.
We love it.
She
But
always
then he'll say, whatever you want, Judy, I'll do it.
We'll make it happen.
He never says no. He never says no. But I wanted to stop the talk shows and do something different, but he said, no, we got to keep these going.
I think that people enjoy
And then
them.
we did talk about maybe next month or sometime soon, a partners show, talk show.
Oh, that would be great to do.
And it's interesting because they've been talking now about how they want the residents and the partners to know each other better.
Right.
And so this would give an individual, so you get to learn more like we are about you.
That's great. Well, and what I do, I've gotten to know a lot of the housekeeping folks due to everything we do in the church NPR, and have needed their services. And they're such wonderful folks. And of course, we've had some turnover and some new people, but some of the ones that have just been so helpful to me, of course, is when I needed to be in TCU for a while. Those nurses and aides down there are just incredible. And the culinary folks and all of
There's so many.
administrative.
I'm not sure where we're starting.
And of course the folks in the church office and all of those, and in the program office, volunteers
they
in
do
there.
a great job.
And wow, I don't know how they do all they do.
I don't either.
Wow, and just everybody, and maintenance, and grounds and all. I've gotten to meet so many people, and it's just the best place to be. You know.
Well, that's why we really appreciate our volunteers, because they help the partners, or they couldn't do everything.
Oh,
the
true.
volunteers are amazing too.
Right. Well, I've gotten to know even more. I'm in the United Women of Faith.
Yes.
That's a great group. Wonderful folks to meet who maybe don't. There's some of the ones that maybe I don't see in other things that I normally do, and of course the ukulele group that you've.
Which I've not been doing much with.
Well, a little at a time. It works. I started playing guitar as a teenager, so. I graduated to ukulele when I moved here because it's a smaller instrument and easier on an arthritic hand. Okay. So anyway, it's been a lot of fun to start.
It's a great group of women, and I joined, but I haven't been there too much.
Well, it started with about three or four of us, and it's grown to almost 20.
Yes.
So that's incredible. So, but you know, those of us who can play some of those chords will play them, and those who are newer to it, play what you can. It's a learn as you go.
It's a little harder when I'm older to remember all the key chords.
And a lot of things when we get a little older seem to be not as quick to learn, but still fun to do.
Well, they said we could come and just sing.
Oh,
and I
sure.
do that.
Yes, that's great.
Because I'm not a good singer, but I can come sing.
Well, that's what Gay Kubik said the same thing. She said, I can play better than I can sing. So, and other people said, well, I can sing better than I can play. So, mutual.
Sandy Baker sings.
Sandy
There's
Baker,
a couple of them that
Wanda
sing.
Knox, yeah. There's several who come to sing, and some who come mainly to strum.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun. We've done some programs over in Heritage Lobby and Aurora and Adult Day.
Yes.
They may have gone, I don't think I could go to the one that they did at Matthews, but I think they may have gone one time there too.
Yeah.
I'm not positive on that one, but it's really great.
That group stays active, entertaining people.
It does. So that's the main thing. That's the mission,
Yes.
to bring joy. Yeah.
I'm sure. Especially the Aurora Lounge. I don't know how much they get, the Aurora area.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
don't
have
get
quite
out
a
as
few
much.
activities, but yeah, a lot of them don't get away from that particular area.
Exactly.
So to bring in things is just what they need. Yeah. So, it's
So how's
really-
Billy Joe going? Billy Joe.
Yeah.
Does she come back sometimes?
She says she's going to come back. We're going to miss her so
I
much.
know.
But she said she's going to come back and play and do the ukulele with us some. And of course, we played at the luau and the duck regatta.
I remember
we
that
sang
one.
Rubber Ducky. That was so much fun. And yeah, some things like that turn out. Of course, we got a new volunteer director now, Shannon, who was
Yes.
over at the Heritage Lobby area as activities. He's going to be great at this
He
too.
was fun over there.
Yeah, oh yes.
So he'll be good, yes.
So I think they made a good choice.
And you have one man in the ukulele group.
Yes, and let's see, there was some other, I don't remember who it is now. They were talking about another man who may join up.
Okay.
I can't remember who it is. Yeah, Bob Hewitt said, yes, bring him on.
Yeah, he's
We
the
tell
one
him he's got
man.
a harem.
And doesn't he do some of the writing for some of the songs?
He did. He did a little song for us about Otterbein, and I think the tune to it is "Oh Christmas Tree."
Okay.
So he just handed it out last week. I haven't sung it yet, but he's really good at that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I do remember that one because I did get the paperwork.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we've gotten some new paper, and of course Carol Jeffries plays steel guitar, and she has begun bringing that, and we're going to play some of her Hawaiian pieces.
Oh, that'd be good.
And accompany her on as she plays steel guitar, which is just beautiful. So yeah.
You'll have to get lays to put around your neck.
Oh yeah, maybe so. Well, we play all kinds of different things, folk songs and some of those. All the ladies and Bob have brought in suggestions, and if we can find the music and ukulele chords for it, we try it. Sometimes we say, the chords on that are a little hard. We'll put that one away until we get a little better at it. So,
Well, my neighbor Peggy's a member.
Yes.
And she comes and she'll say, "Are you going?" I said, "Oh, I can't today."
Yeah. Well, you're a busy lady too.
I know. I'm trying to get cut down on a few things so I can do that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be. I'd rather be too busy than not busy enough.
Oh, I guess. But there for a while, I saw myself coming and going.
Right. That's true. Yeah. My family has always said, "You don't know this 2-letter word that you need to know." N-O.
I know. That's true. But I've enjoyed everything I've done.
Yeah,
I love
me
living
too.
here. I've seen so many benefits. I only moved
yes.
here from Monroe.
Oh, really? You were very
Everyone
close
laughs
by.
when they hear that.
You just
Monroe.
You just drove over, and here you were.
I just packed up my bag and over I came.
Yeah, it was a little farther for me,
But actually, I didn't know a lot about Otterbein. I knew it was here. I knew that there were a lot of things, but until I really moved, I didn't realize how many activities and everything that was going on.
It was incredible when we took that tour, and I mean, just saw the creative arts area, and I mean, just everything that they offered here at Otterbein. It was just amazing. And then I learned after the fact that Otterbein, Lebanon is the mother of all of the
Yes.
other
Yes.
Otterbeins. I didn't know there were other Otterbeins, and now there are even more. We've just gotten news of new affiliations with other
yes,
places.
Emerald and
Emerald
Green
and
Hills
Tip
or
City
something.
and that kind of thing.
Yes,
So
it's going to be interesting.
that is.
But mine happened so fast. I sold my house and I called John, and I never got the tour. He just moved me in. And now that I look back, darn, I never got the tour.
That's all right. You could take your own tour, I guess, after you moved in.
Yeah, of course, I had Welcome Wagon, I call it, the greeting committee.
True.
So everybody was wonderful, and
Oh, yeah.
I learned my way around. But when you talk about the tour, I thought, I didn't get a tour.
Well, when I moved here, of course, you get a map of the interior and exterior. It took me about 2 weeks walking around this campus center every day to finally learn my way around.
Yes.
And thankfully, I probably had the deer in the headlights look. Several people would stop me and say, "You must be new here. What can I help you find?" And I found myself offering that to other people that looked like they could use some help as well. So.
But it's a little confusing. We play dominoes at Wilson Room, and someone will always stop and say, "Well, how do I get to the railroad room?"
Right.
And we all look at each other like, "Well, you got to go that way down an elevator." And there's different elevators.
True.
You have to know which elevator to take.
Right.
So we say, "We hope you don't get lost. Just ask someone else."
Yeah. We finally took my grandchildren down to the train room close to Christmas.
Good.
Oh, wow. They were just thrilled. Eyes big as saucers, Wow, this is great.
And now they have that new pool room. Do you go down there, Kevin?
I have been down there. Yeah, it's great.
That's
We
nice for
walked
the
by
men that
it.
played pool.
There were a couple of people in there playing when we walked by. So,
So they keep adding things, and it's wonderful.
well, they do, and it's just Audubon's just a great place to be.
I also always add that I think the security's good here.
Oh yes.
I shouldn't tell this, but I never lock my doors because I just feel so thin. The security drives by every night.
Yeah, they do.
So I think the security's very good.
It is, and of course, when we had that big snow, of course, I was just so interested in how much snow was falling. I got up and looked out the window about 3 a.m. and the truck with the plow was coming through, plowing Bluebird Court, and I later found out that was John Slocum in
He
the
does
truck.
do that.
Because I mentioned it. And he said, "That was me."
I saw him one time doing that too.
I said, "John, did you spend the whole night?" He said, "Yep, spent the whole night in the truck plowing." And I said, "Well, God bless you for that, because we were able to get out and do some of the things we
Yes,
needed to do
yes.
the next day."
One day it snowed, my car was in my driveway, and I knew they were doing the driveways, and I got out and jumped and moved my car real quick, and John come back and did my driveway.
Well, as this construction, on our courts, you and I have been going on. Of course, it's taken longer than they expected, which was probably not an unusual thing with the weather and ordering materials. But I've just been amazed at how they've worked in this weather.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I think I mentioned to you earlier today that just the day it was sleeting, they were up on my roof putting up siding. I was like, please don't let them fall down.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
I saw them from a distance.
Yeah. Well, they've been, those workers have just been so polite and nice and hardworking. They're probably the hardest working people I've ever seen.
I looked out yesterday and it was like 12 degrees or 19. And they're out there working away with gloves on, and I thought, man, they never quit.
Yeah, I did ask one of the young men right after the day it snowed the first time, really big, and they were out. It was so cold. I said, how do you guys stay warm? He says, we just keep moving, and we wear a lot of layers.
And
I said, well, that's probably the only way you're going to be able to do it.
I often wonder where they go for lunch, because they kind of stop for an hour lunch.
I don't know. They may sit in the vehicle they came in and just have lunch. I've never noticed where they go. Yeah, they just kind of disappear.
Boy, at 5 o'clock, they clean up, they're gone.
Yeah,
and that's nice.
Well, sometimes they did say that if they were working on a project and it was still daylight, they would stay until they had finished it. And sometimes in the fall, when it was still daylight saving times, they were still here at 7 o'clock.
Really?
But
really?
It's not too many days they did that. But
they really want to get it done as soon as they can.
Well, that's true. It's taken a long time, but first we said maybe by Christmas, and then we said maybe by Valentine's Day, and then maybe by Easter. But regardless, it's going to happen, and it's looking really good.
John told our court April 1st, and we all laughed.
And
Nobody said
did he mean April Fool?
It won't be April. But as long as I get the windows and the porch, the outside stuff, I don't care how long that takes.
Right. Well, I don't think it's going to be long before I can get back into the solarium.
Oh, you
right
haven't
now
been able to?
No, it's not yet. But of course, it's super cold right now.
Yes, true. That's true.
But I have a little heater that heats up really nice, so I'll get up there as soon as he says you're in. So,
and you let us know, because as soon as you're in, then I know we weren't far behind.
It won't be far behind. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So anything else you'd like to discuss that we haven't hit on?
Oh, gosh. I think we talked about everything.
I got a question.
Okay.
Chris, what's your favorite piece of music to play? And then also, what's your favorite piece of music overall, if it's different?
Oh, my gosh. My favorite piece of music to play.
Putting you on the spot.
Oh, you certainly are. You should have warned me ahead of time. Piece of music to play.
I should pump in the Jeopardy music
right now. I like so many things. I guess on the piano for the, this is a gospel piece. It's Sweet, Sweet Spirit. And when I came here to Otterbein, of course Bob's here to play percussion. He played that with me. That was the very first one I think that we did together. And ever since then, I record, if I'm going to play the piano, I record what I'm going to play for the prelude, offering, and postlude, and send the recording to Bob and say, see what you think, and add whatever you want if you feel like it's appropriate. So we've done that just a lot. And since the organ got back, of course he doesn't play when the organ plays, but people said, you're not going to stop playing the piano, are you? I said, no, I'll play that at least once every Sunday. And so that's what I've been trying to do. Variety is the spice of life. And so I think that's one of my favorite piano pieces. And what was the other one? Oh, the other one, just in general, what I like.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I'm a symphony person. In fact, the music you played last night and today on OLN, you could do that all the time for me. I love that light classical music. I need things that are soothing.
Yeah, relaxing. Soothing.
Relaxing
Sure.
music. And of course, you often play just hymn arrangements that are at night in particular, which are also some of my favorites. And but last night when I turned that on and that's what was on, I just let it play all night long.
Good.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people comment on the music you play, all the different
Oh,
music,
yeah.
and they really like it.
I get all sorts of different compliments and all sorts of different complaints depending on what music's playing. You can't please
I'm sure
everybody.
well, your best bet is to please all of the people some of the time.
There you go. Yeah.
Not all, yeah.
One of the best pieces of advice I got from the first minister, as a priest in the Episcopal Church. I was very young, right out of college, and of course I wanted to please everybody all the time.
Sure.
And he got me in his office. He said, "You've got to stop." I said, "What?" He said, "You're trying to please all the people all the time." And I said, "Well, yeah." And he said, "It's not possible. Your best thing you're going to be able to do is to please all the people some of the time."
Perfect
And
advice.
it just was immediate relief, you know, because I thought it was my job to please all the people all the time. And it isn't possible. So Kevin, don't worry about it.
No,
Just
no, I
keep
don't
doing
worry.
I know you don't. Keep doing your variety, and of course, I love most of it.
Good.
So, yeah.
We'll throw this back to Kevin. What is your favorite piece to listen
Oh
to?
boy.
Yeah.
I always tell people my favorite piece of music is probably, what is it, the Claire de Lune, Debussy?
Claire de Lune? Oh yes, one of my piano students. That was her favorite too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to bring that out and play it
I
for
think
you.
that's hold on, I might be confusing. Is it the girl with the flaxen hair? Is that the same?
No.
No. That's the one.
That's a
the one.
Debussy. That's one of my favorites, piano pieces.
That's my favorite piece of music of all time.
Well, I'll bring it out. I've got it in my library. I'll learn
Please.
it again and play it for you.
Please, yeah. But yeah, other than that, I'm a rock and roll kind of guy. I like my rock and roll music. But if I
My
had to pick
favorite
one
was-
piece of music, it's that Debussy girl with
Where
the
did you
flaxen
come
hair.
across that? You don't remember?
I go deep with music, so I remember it was sometime in high school I came across it, and
Yeah.
it just blew me away immediately.
Maybe in a music class you heard.
Yeah, I
this.
think it was some sort of music class, probably.
It does come up in those often. So, but
Yeah.
for a Debussy or an impressionistic
Mm-hmm.
period of music, yeah, that is beautiful.
I always loved Fleur Elise.
Oh yeah,
And my daughter played it, so I decided, well, I'm going to learn the piano so I can play it. Well, I didn't practice.
oh,
She practiced, and that was kind of my favorite.
oh, that's a favorite from a long time ago from
Yes, it
everybody.
is.
Yes, yeah, good old Beethoven. Yes, that's all good.
Well,
I have a hard
thank you
time.
very much. Really enjoyed you
It's
so
been a
much.
pleasure.
And
Thank
I
you,
hope
Judy.
you'll come back again in 6 months to a year and do another one.
We'll see what the time brings. That's
Would
true.
you like to say goodbye to the guest?
Oh, thank you. This has been so great. Otterbein is a wonderful place to be, and everybody just be a blessing to each other. Be a
And thank
blessing
you
to
very
each other.
much for tuning in on us, and we were so happy to have Chris Ward with us. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good day.
That was a great
Thank you.
interview. You had a lot to talk about.
Thank you.
It was very good.